Hello, welcome to Eurogamer on YouTube. I'm Bertie, a writer for Eurogamer, and I'm joined by Christian Donlan, a writer for Eurogamer.
Hello.
Hi. Today we're here to talk about Nekro, a game I know nothing about but Christian does. So, Christian, what am I seeing?
Well, right, this Nekro is a super interesting idea. It's sort of an action RPG.
Worms!
Yes, I know, that inevitably part of the... You can't have been surprised by worms in a game called Nekro.
That's true.
Yeah, it's sort of a blend of action RPG and with a little more strategic edge. You're not going to see much of that in what we play through. We'll play through the first, I think, 2 levels when it is still pretty much action RPG territory.
What the hell is that?
So it is a bit different from your traditional action RPG, where I tend to see you're sort of like moving around with a mouse, whereas this is more the sort of keyboard to move and then mouse to attack things. And you play a necromancer who is off to defeat a villain's king, and you do that by...
So you're the baddie?
Well, are you? Are you, Bertie? Are you the baddie? You're not doing anything particularly nice to these people as you explode them into puddles of gore and goop. But I think there's a certain moral ambiguity to the whole process.
So I see that this is a beta. Who's making this? What's it on? When's it coming out, etc.?
Right, it's a company called Dark Forge Games, which is exactly the right title for a company who are making a game called Nekro. And I think they're making it on their Dark Forge, just sort of hammering it into shape. It's in
hammering it with sort of evil sides.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's sending out evil sparks. It's on early access right now. I think there's about 8 or 9, maybe 9 levels of it. You get a good sense of it.
Is it expensive?
I think you're putting me on the spot. This is the kind of thing which, if I was competent, I would have
You
known
are
in advance. Well, just not in this sense. Well, or in many other senses.
That cow that's a bull, in fact. So it's got a ring through its nose.
Oh, is that true? Is that how you tell the difference?
It's a bloody mess.
Were you raised on a farm?
I was reared on a farm.
Did you go to live on a farm? Because that's what they say when the family has gotten rid of you and flushed you down the toilet. Bertie went to live on a farm along with the goldfish and all those dogs we used to have.
I haven't lived on a farm, but I've always thought that one day I'd like a farm.
Really? I think too much of the harsh realities of life on a farm. You can't hide any of your pleasing fantasies about where sausages actually come from. Anyway, I digress. So as you see, it's it looks a bit like
I'm not really sure what's going on here. So he's got a lot of, this necromancer's got a lot of things to kill.
Yes.
Which look like normally the opposite. I mean, scarecrows, cows.
In the early levels, you are just killing things, but a big part of the game is also summoning your own kind of guys who fight alongside you. So later on you'll see me taking control of a pumpkin, and it becomes a bit more strategic. Suddenly
you can go around with an army, or
yes.
Is it like a Pikmin vibe?
I would say it's a cross between Pikmin and Overlord, maybe. To me, it looks a bit like a gnarly version of the old 3D Rayman games. It's got that kind of lurid colour scheme, and sort of it's horror, but it's kind of funny horror.
So where does this game? What stands this game apart? Why have you chosen to talk about it?
Well, it's the strategy side, which annoyingly I'm not able to show you. But I also just think it's quite a fun knockabout splatterfest as well.
How do things progress? Do you have a leveling system?
Yeah, there's leveling. I think they also, you pick from, I think at the moment, 3 different classes types at the beginning, and that pretty much seems to control what sort of weapon you have. So I've got a kind of bomb lobbing class here.
It's quite gory, isn't it?
It's very gory, but in a kind of a cartoony, fun way. I don't think anyone is going to go to war and expect it to be just like Nekro. They're like, oh, there are going to be cows and sheep running around.
Not yet, before we discover some parallel worlds.
I quite like the way that the health of an enemy is displayed with this funny little coloured annulus around their base. It's quite nice. So you can see how badly someone's doing. It is a game a little bit in the early stages about kiting things, about running away from things. But that changes, I think, the more of an army you get to fight with you.
How long have you played this for? How much have you tried?
Not very much. I've played through the first levels a couple of times, and I do like it. I'm intrigued to play more from it, certainly. And it apparently it does quite interesting things like procedural kind of missions pop up and stuff like that. But the main thing I'm really interested to see later on
some kind of boss here.
Yes, absolutely. The main thing I'm interested to see later on is how the strategic side sort of blossoms alongside the more kind of splattersome click stuff.
So he looked like he was eating his opponent.
Oh yes, that's right. So when the corpses turn up, blood is a little bit like mana in this. So you have blood which you can use on summoning different allies, or you can use it as like a health boost when you're down, which is quite an elegant, neat little system, and it sort of ties in well to the sense of, like you said, a bit of a... There are no good necromancers by and large. The good people do other things like bond management or high frequency trading or something like that.
The Darkforge, the developer, do they have...
Don't ask me any questions about them because I know nothing about them.
What else have they done?
Well, Bertie, that's very interesting, and I think it's if people find out for themselves. I think
that's good because that's kind of a bit of homework.
Absolutely, and homework is the old let's play homework trick. I do like the kind of cottage, the kind of cottages, the kind of Hans Christian Andersen kind of twistedness of the whole thing. Reminds me a bit of the early Fable games.
Wow, slow mo.
Yeah, I know.
Is that mission complete?
What's gore with that? One of the things is because they have these objectives in a mission, they do tend to, and the levels tend to be kind of arena-like because a lot of it is going to be about strategic movement of your armies that you summon. A lot of the missions do seem to end quite abruptly, where you're kind of, it's not got that Diablo thing of like hacking away through a linear, procedural dungeon getting to the end.
It feels it's giving off a slight Dungeon Keeper vibe here.
Yeah, definitely. Dungeon Keeper would definitely be a great.
In that you're the baddie here, effectively, and you're invading these goody worlds.
I don't think they're good though. I think you're cutting the enemies a bit too much slack there. I think I mean
that lumberjack was quick to use his axe.
I know, as they often are, aren't they?
If they're not chopping a tree, they're hacking a person in half.
No, I think it's
Spouse,
good. Kudos to you for blowing the lid off these renegades.
I'm glad you said the lid. I don't know if we can.
So here you see like a classic kind of powering up different skills. It is a game about kind of evolving different skills, different sort of things you can summon, and trinkets as well are like loot, so they're objects which give you a bit of extra power, which is all.
Okay,
fun.
and so this is the in-between missions.
That's right, sort of leveling up, making interesting choices, and that sort of thing. Apologies, we're recording this in the office. So
if you can hear people rustling their packets of crisps, they are.
Yeah, and they're probably doing it out of I don't know, malice towards us. I think they're jealous of your rugged good looks.
Are there any plans to take this to console? Is this is a typical indie PC?
I think it feels very PC-ish. Yeah, I think it belongs on PC, and
it's got like a Michael Jackson glove on there. I don't know. That's not saying Michael Jackson is a necromancer.
Well, Michael Jackson.
Although presumably I can't slander the dead.
Do you know what? We'd need a lawyer to talk about that. I think it's best to stay away from the reputation of the king of pop.
Yes.
That's just a rule of thumb I live by. It's got me this far.
Souls. What's this souls? Is this how many people you've killed and you collect the souls?
You asked me all the tricky questions today. I think yes. I think basically you're trying to fill up that bar to move on to the next level. I would say. This little bat guy here, a fat little bat, a bit like a zoo bat. Yeah, I've summoned that guy. I summoned him good and proper. And look, he's going to attack. He's going to attack the other people, and you just leave him to do his own thing as long as it involves attacking. In a minute, I think, this pumpkin here. This is the moment where some games have a moment where you fall in love with them, and this was the moment. And I realised I could win this pumpkin over. And look how beautifully. I love the way he's animated. He's like an evil beanbag. Just chomping around. Pumpkin. Halloween. Jack-o'-lantern.
That is very. Oh, here we go. Another Lumbro.
Bad news. We got a bat and a pumpkin. So you are screwed, Lumbro.
Do you know how many followers or how big your army can be?
No, I don't know actually. That's going to be interesting to see how far it takes the strategic side of things. Having played a bit further than this, it does get pretty hard, and that may just be because I'm a useless idiot.
Pig was rolling around in the mud until you turned it into something you could sell in a supermarket.
It's very true, very true. I'm quite interested in pigs at the moment. My daughter is currently as clever as a pig, I've discovered.
Okay.
Pigs do this thing, they almost pass what's known as the mirror stage. They can almost recognise themselves in the mirror, as can my daughter. So constantly in a sort of... trying to get the best out of her sort of way.
Smart as a pig.
In the evening, I do say, darling, Pigs are meant to be smart though, so that's in many ways the ultimate compliment.
Some pigs are more equal than others.
I will. Wow, you got all literary on me just then.
So, do you know what kind of how long this game is going to keep us playing for? How much game is there?
I don't know. I think there will be a fair amount of replay. Like I said, 3 different classes, and I think they're introducing more classes. But also because of because it has that strategy game side to it, and because it has a certain degree of randomization, I think it'll keep you going for a while. It's sort of a rough charmer, I would put it at the moment.
Rough charmer.
Which is what early access is all about, I suppose, turning rough charmers into just full-on charmers.
This doesn't seem broken or glitchy in any way, though.
No, I think what they've done is rather than give you something which doesn't work, they've given you a small chunk of something that does work. I think there's definite different approaches to early access coming out. Like the ultimate crap fest, where nothing works. Or there's the sort of monstrum approach where there are lots of menu buttons but none of them do anything, and you have a tiny slice of game. This seems to be a fairly generous chunk of game, and it's just, that's all you get for the time being.
Oh, so that's the end of the level.
That's the end of the level, but we did see a pumpkin, we saw some bats, 2 bats. So
what are the question marks?
They are tutorial tips.
Aha.
That bit I can answer.
Very good.
Yes, and I think that's a good moment to leave it.
Yeah, we're coming to the end. So this is Nekro. It's out on early access now. This was Eurogamer on YouTube. If you like this video, we've got loads of others about all different kinds of games. Do subscribe. You'll hear us, or possibly Ian.
Or maybe even the tech team in the background.
Or maybe even the tech team.
Who knows?
Thanks for watching, and we will speak at you soon.
Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.